Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. If you're like me and you're an original Metal Gear Solid fan, then the news of this remake coming to life is going to bring lots of emotions. Of course, first of all, happiness, as it's been a very long time since we've been able to play one of our favorite games, and we've never played it in this amazing new style. But on top of that, there may be some other complicated feelings that pop up. Of course, when we think about Metal Gear Solid, what do we think of? The amazing writing, the beautiful historical fiction, the emotional story of Big Boss, Solid Snake, Liquid Snake, the list goes on, the boss herself. But of course, when I think of Metal Gear Solid as a filmmaker who was very inspired by these games growing up, just an artist in general who's so inspired by these stories and the writing, the intrigue, and just the creativity. Of course, the thing that comes to mind for me is Hideo Kojima, the amazing creator of this story who I look up to very much. And I think a lot of Metal Gear Solid fans have a deep respect for this amazing artist.
If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe.
Aaliyah's laughing at me. I'm a filmmaker who breaks down the cinematic language of a lot of games on this particular channel. And I mean, I could have a field day with a lot of Kojima's work, you know, anything from Metal Gear Solid to Death Stranding. And while Kojima has gone on to create his own amazing company with games like Death Stranding, fortunately, his departure from Konami was a little bit messy, and there was a lot of their partnership didn't end well, and they essentially tried to remove Kojima's involvement or kind of his credit from a lot of Konami projects, and it's just really, really sad to see as a Metal Gear fan, and I thought really not deserved at all. So you have to wonder with a project like this, what is going to be the fate of this? And sort of the most important question that came to me when we discussed it on stream was, does Metal Gear Solid need Kojima? And I personally think it does. Now, what makes this answer sort of complicated is that it seems to be a very faithful remake of Snake Eater. So you have to ask yourself, well, if it's a faithful remake down to the letter of the script, it already has Kojima all over it, right? But at the same time, sort of the beautiful thing about Hideo Kojima is he would never just come back and do a letter-by-letter, one-to-one remake. He would add in all sorts of amazing new references to, like, for example, Metal Gear Solid 4 and other projects, Metal Gear Solid 5 that came out after it. He would throw in more Easter eggs, he would throw in more twists and creative turns, and having access to greater gameplay now, he would, done what he's done in a lot of his games, and probably make some incredibly creative gameplay scenarios that we've never thought of, as he always do. He's a person full of ingenuity and resourcefulness with the hardware and creativity. But I digress. So you have to ask yourself, is it still gonna be Metal Gear Solid without Kojima? They're kind of hinting that it's gonna be a faithful remake. One of the good things and the promising things about this is that David Hayter, the voice of Solid Snake, and all of the original cast is back on this project. Now, it remains to be seen exactly what that means, as in, will it be simply reusing the old line recordings of the game, or if they'll be re-recording the entire script. I think either one would be fantastic. Just knowing that the original cast is back is very promising, especially for us old fans who, number one, we love these games so much, but number two, we haven't been able to hear the iconic David Hayter as Solid Snake in a very long time, especially in a new project, because of course in Metal Gear Solid 5 he was not able to play Big Boss, so things got shifted around a little bit. But it's very promising. So it makes you wonder if they're going to respect the creator too, Kojima. So I think it's very possible that this will be the case, and I think they really would be committing this project to the dumpster if they were to come out and say the opposite. Like, oh yeah, we will not be crediting Kojima. We will not be doing anything. I don't think that's a good idea to do that to the Metal Gear Solid fans and kind of sort of Kojima fans out there. And I don't think it would be a good look at all for the company at large. It'd be very, very, very bad taste. So I kind of half expect them to either, number one, just put his name in the credits and say, hey, this is based on the story and the work of Hideo Kojima. That would be great. Like front and center, right at the beginning of the game, right at the ending. That would probably, appease a lot of fans. So I think that's probably choice one, realistically. Choice two, I would say, is they probably try to get him to give some sort of blessing. If they were to do that, it would be absolutely fantastic. And then it would, again, assuage a lot of concerns on either end of the spectrum. Of course, there's a third, more sinister option and more exciting option, where you have it that Kojima actually is working on this in some capacity, even if he was, like my friend Blitz said, right? Like, even if he was to just sign on as a sort of consultant or something like that, it would be really, really nice. And I think a lot of fans would feel good about that, knowing that he kind of has veto power on if they're going to be adding stuff to the story. But again, we don't really know the extent if they're adding anything to the story, for example. But I think either way, this will be absolutely fantastic, and it'll be what a lot of fans have been looking forward to for a long time. I mean, Snake Eater is just such a masterpiece from a writing perspective, from a musical perspective. I mean, me and Ali are always listening to the main theme of Snake Eater. It's just so good, and the story is, I really think, one of the best written in all of gaming. It really is up there as one of the best games ever. So all the charms, all the incredible writing, the characters that stuck with us all these years, I think we're all just really excited to see those come to life. But for me personally, I do think that Metal Gear Solid needs Kojima to be Metal Gear Solid. It's a lot of people would say with Star Wars, does Star Wars need George Lucas? I'll let you answer that in the comments. It's a similar conundrum, right? And I would actually agree with that as well. It needs George Lucas, and whether that's his DNA being very strong and being respected in a project, or him working on it himself. If not, it just won't feel like it. It won't feel like Metal Gear. It won't feel like Star Wars. So, what do you guys think? Let me know if you agree. If you think I'm crazy, make sure to subscribe if you're new. It's exciting to get into the Metal Gear space. The funny thing about this is, like, so many of us content creators are Metal Gear Solid fanatics, but you'd never know it because there's no new content. There's zero content in Metal Gear Solid. It's been dead, long before a lot of us even started making content. So it's really, really special to be able to make content and talk about it again, because so many of us have such a passion for this franchise. It's going to be really exciting. I think it's a great time for gaming in general to have this masterpiece come back to life. Let's just hope, at least me personally, I'm going to hope that they are going to give proper credit to the creators, if not get a blessing from Kojima himself, and hopefully they use tact and they use respect, no matter what route they take. But alright guys, have a great day, and I will chat with you soon. Let me know in the comments, who is your favorite Metal Gear Solid character?